I'm in. Can't do it right now, but yes.
That hurts.
I'll do it a little later.
Can't wait a minute.
Tomorrow. I'll do it later. All right. That wraps it up for trade number 8. So our balance is at 1450, and we need, what is it, 778 times 2. So I want to say 1560. Let me see the exact amount. Yeah, so 1556. 1556 is roughly what we need. So one more trade should do it. So this being trade number 8, we need one more trade to close out the project. And this is phase 3 of the 2X project on QUOTEX with 778 starting balance. All right, so brief commentary. Won't be too long with this. Throughout this video series, I've been consistently not only observing the market for a period of time before ultimately entering into trades, but I've been explaining the various things that I do throughout observation and the things that I'm waiting for in anticipation of the entry that I'm going to take. So for the most part, what I do is observe until the market movement stabilizes, and then ultimately the behavior of the market create, or I should say, a cycle of behavior is created in the market over the time on the chart. So what I mean by that is, for example, we're looking at a 1-minute chart. Each of these candles represents 60 seconds, right? So you have to observe the market movement over the span of time, and you have to look at how the movement has occurred during the time. So over the course of all of these candles that, excuse me, that you see, they represent time and they represent the movement of the market. It's pretty remarkable, actually, the way that all of this is giving you the information that you need to understand what the movement in the market is at the time and how you can apply your understanding of the movement to your trade when you decide to enter. Because, again, I'll reiterate what a trade actually is. A trade is just simply you choosing a direction. You're literally saying, all right, I'm clicking in and I'm going to buy. What you're saying by doing that is that you want the market to move above the point that you clicked in at, and you want it to remain above by the time the clock runs out on your actual trade. So your trade is going to be for 60 seconds because that's what we use. We're using 1-minute time, right? And what you're saying when you click in is that I want the market to end above because I'm buying. I'm buying at this point that I'm clicking in at, and I want the market to end above that line or above that point that I clicked in at, right? Now the market moves. So the market is either going to move in your direction, or it's not going to move in your direction. It'll move against the direction for your trade, or it could do both. But the bottom line is that what it does at the end or by the end of the time, that is going to be what the outcome of the trade is. So when you look at the candles and you see like these wicks, for example, like if you look here on this candle, there's a red wick on top of this candle, that little skinny line on the top. and it's kind of long, right? What that means is that at the end of this candle to the left of it, the market ended here at the base of the candle, like the bottom of the, looks like a tower, right? So the bottom of this red candle, the market ends there, it opens up here. And when it opened up here, it went up first. So this candle was actually blue first. It went up, it was up here, but by the time the candle closed, meaning by the time the 60 seconds ran out, the market came all the way back down under the point that it started at, turned the color of the candle red, and now you have a red candle with a red wick on the top. That activity is what I call behavior. That's what we refer to as market behavior. The fact that it went up first and then it came down. Now, when the market is repeating that same behavior over and over again throughout time, that's what is referred to as a cycle of behavior. The market continues to repeat that type of movement where it goes up first, comes back down, and it ends low. It did a similar thing here, but it went down first, came back up, and by the time the clock ran out, it came up, but it didn't come up past the point where it started. You see, it only went up a little bit first, and then it came down, then it came back up, and it ended up here in the middle of the candle. But the movement wasn't that substantial above the point where the candle started. So that's why you see a little wick on the top. So you see how the behavior of the market and the movement is actually being translated by the candles. So when you look at the candles are telling you all the information, not just by their color, but also by their wicks and also by what side of the candle the wick is on. Like, I'm giving y'all a lot of information right now in this commentary. A lot of free information. Because I'm teaching you how to understand movement. Literally, I'm explaining it to you right now. Anytime you look at these candles, when you see those wicks, that means that the market was down here. It was all the way down here, but it didn't end down there. It came all the way back up here and ended here. In this example, on this candle. On this candle over here, same thing. Went all the way down here, but it didn't end down here. It came back up and it ended here. So what you're seeing when you see these wicks is the presence of reversal energy, because the market's going in one direction and then it's coming back in the opposite direction. So now when you see that behavior, then the next question is, well, how far is it coming? Is it coming far enough to turn the candle color? Is it? Some of them, it can be that far. So in other words, there may be that amount of reversal energy present where it comes all the way back in the other direction and changes the color of the candle. You can see that also. That's also movement and behavior. So basically, by observing all of this different movement, you're seeing how unstable the movement is. Because the more of these wicks that you see on the candles, the more unstable the overall movement of the market is. And then the question becomes, well, do you want to participate in the movement of the market with it being that unstable? So now, do you see how it plays a part in your trading? Movement and behavior defines your trades. Because if you're able to see beforehand the type of movement present and the type of behavior that was created as a cycle, meaning that it's just repeating itself. If you see those things beforehand, they will back up your trade, because you'll know exactly what to expect from the movement after you enter the trade. Does that make sense? It's more than just identifying a direction to be in. Oh, I'm selling. Oh, I'm going to buy. It's more than just picking your direction, meaning it's more than just selecting the trade. It has way more to do with understanding the movement first and then aligning the trade with the movement that's present so that they're in sync. Because if they're not in alignment, you'll select one direction and the market could be moving in a way where it moves in your favor first. And then it reverses and goes back out of your favor, and then you lose the trade. And that sucks. It sucks to be in profit at first, and then you lose in the end. But you can anticipate this type of movement beforehand by observing. And that's why these recordings and this project is so important, because I'm showing you how to do it. I'm showing you how long it can take. It might take you hours. You might have to wait for hours until the movement stabilizes. And then even once the movement stabilizes, you still need to identify the type of, or not even the type of behavior, but the cycle of behavior that the market is in. Because after the movement stabilizes, now the market creates an actual cycle that it wants to be in. And then you identify what the cycle is. And then now your trade makes sense because your trade is backed up by the behavioral cycle and the movement at the same time. And that's what I teach you. That's the purpose of the training. The training elevates your understanding of all of these things. Even though I'm speaking on it now for free. But you need to get into training for $100 a month. You need that. It's not optional if you want to be successful at trading, if you want to be successful in this profession, if you want to become a professional. And that's just it. It is what it is. You'll have seen me throughout this project start with $190. The next trade that I take is going to be the completion of the project. Will be over $1,500 in the account. And at that point, we're at the income phase. And this project is finished. Then I'll be back in the income phase, doing what I normally do. And once you're in the income phase, I mean, it's simple to do the math. This platform is up and running 7 days a week. You're in the income phase, even if you were to trade once a day. Once a day is about $150 a day. Do the math. What's $150 a day times 7 days in a week? That's over $1,000, ain't it? So literally starting with $100, $190 in your account. You build up your account through consistency with observation and applying the skill set. Position the account so that you're in the income phase. And then once you're in the income phase, now you're making over $1,000 a week. And light work. That's trading once a day. Once. So do you see what I'm doing? Do you see how I'm showing you how you can position yourself on this platform? You don't got to start with $5,000. You don't got to start with $1,000. You don't got to start with $500. $190 is what this account started with. And we moved through 3 phases of doubling the account. That's why this is the 2X project. Because each phase is a 2X. First phase was 190 to 390. Second phase was 390 to 778. And the third phase is the one that we're in now. This started with 778. On the next trade, we'll be at 15 and change. Consistency. So you guys make sure that you take advantage of these videos. Take advantage of this series. I mean, this right here is historical because this is an actual playlist of recordings of observations, actual live observation in the market, not just the trade. You see the trade too, but you see what led up to the trade. You see how I navigated through the different markets. You can see how I switched from market to market to see what the movement was on each market. You get to see how I did it. It's the best training and education you'll ever receive. Someone actually took the time to show you what they're doing and how they're doing it. You guys saw me literally take $190 to where you see the balance now. One trade after the other. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up. All right, so this concludes trade number 8. Phase 3 2x project on QUOTEX. This was 778 starting balance. And I will see you in the next video. The next video will be the last one. That'll be it. And that'll be the completion of the project. All right, y'all know what it is. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance. Love, peace, and soul.